Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we'll be discussing about property controls. So last time we discussed about drop down and list box. Today we'll be seeing the remaining property controls which will be helpful for you in creating your dashboard, Spotify dashboard and giving them dynamic feeling. And users can change the access, can change the data, can navigate to different data sets, different data basically using those controls. So what we'll do, we'll go back to the same place. So I just created a bar chart. I have a table here and I have this text area. So I'll just right click, say edit text area and so on. We'll start. So last time we discussed about drop down list and in list box. So I showed you about drop down, which allows you to select one value. List box allows you to select multiple values. Multi select list box. If it is list box, then it will allow you to select only one value at a time. Then we have labels, input field and sliders also. So basically, let's say I want to have a label. So you can put some label here. So whatever selections you are making, based on that, you can have any of the labels. We'll discuss this. Before this, I would like to show you input field. Input field is one of the way by which you can ask user to type in the values. Okay, so in other selections and other controls, people will be selecting something, but here you are asking user to type in some value. Let's say select region, and here you will be today you will be seeing how to load data on demand. Okay, because the current data which is coming here, which you can see here, it's coming from a SQL Server database, and we'll also see on demand. So we'll cover both, a combination of property control plus on demand. So here you see that select region. I have selected, given this, or let's say type in. I'll say type region to, I'll say load data. So this way I have given some text here. I can change it to bold and all, I can do all that stuff. Now I'll say input field. Input field, I'll say new. I'll select the same way, say region. Okay, it's a string, so I can keep it as empty for now. Say okay. I have given it as empty. I don't need to create or any other options here, because since it is a input field, so I don't need to put any set values property through column values, anything unique values or anything like that. Say okay. So I have done this, and I can save this text area, and here you are. So you will get this option. Now, as you know, I got a input field, and we have another option called input field multiple lines that allows you to write in multiple lines. That's the same thing. So it's easy for you to understand one option, and you can easily implement the other one. So for now, what you will be doing, I'll say I want to see data for, if you see here, I'm loading all the data, 9,426 records. Okay, and all that is coming from a SQL Server connection. I can show it here. See data table properties, and here you are. So here, if you see this, so this is a SQL Server connection table called orders, and here it is all coming up here like this. Okay, so I right now all the data is coming, but I want to make it as on demand. So what I'll do, based on the users selection or whatever type in the value they type, the data will be loaded. For now, everything is loaded. So I'll go to general. Okay, go to settings, say data on demand. Okay, and then on what basis I want? On region. So let's say region, say define input. Okay, and here type in the property or expression. You can choose anything, because both will work in the same way. Say okay. Okay, I have selected region value, and say load automatically or allow caching. So load automatically and allow caching means it allows your data to be loaded automatically if you have checked, and data will be cached for the time being, and whenever you save this report, it will show you the same data. Okay, if you don't want this, then no data will be showing up here. So load automatically, I'll check this option, say okay. Okay, and as soon as I have selected okay, you can see that all data is gone. There is no data here, 0 of 0 rows. Now what I want to load data for east. I'll say type in east. As soon as I say enter, you can see the only data coming for east. And remember, this data is coming as on demand in the real time. Remember, this is real time data. It's not some filtering or anything like that I'm doing in the dashboard or the analyst. So it's not that same way. If you can see this here, say region is only having data for east, only east data, no other region, no other information here. Only 2289 records. So out of around 10,000 records, I'm left with only this. Now I want to do, let's say for central, I'll type in central and say okay. So this way what is happening, you are loading data based on the select whatever value you are typing in, and all that is real time. It's completely real time coming from your backend. And why do we use on demand functionality? So that we can load data, relevant data and required data only out of like say millions and millions of records. So why do we load and dump everything in your report or dashboard? So instead of that, we should load data on demand wherever possible. But if you see, there is a problem here. My user has to type enter. And user say, no, I don't want to do this. Can you give me something else? So yes, we can have like buttons or something which will refresh our tables, based on our controls. Again, those are script controls. So I can have, let's say, load data. Load data, and I can have RN Python scripts here. So I'll say script, say new, and I'll say refresh table. I can give anything here, and I'll say table dot refresh. That's all. For refreshing only one table, I just need this single line. I don't need anything else. So I'll say run script. It will give me error. The table is not defined. So what's the problem here? You are saying table dot refresh, but you're not defining, or you have not given which table to refresh. So what you have to do, you can just select this, or you can type in yourself. It's your choice. Say data table, and we have only one table in our data. So I'll just say okay, and now if I click on run script, it will not give me error. So this means the script is working. It's just a single 2 words of script, but it's very useful, very, very useful. Like this, if you want to refresh second table, table 2, 3, 4, you can just type in table 1, table 2 dot refresh, table 3 dot refresh, and so on. So just say okay. So I'll just save this, and here you are. So now what will happen? Let's say I'll say West. I have given West. I'm not entering and clicking on enter. I'll just say load data. So it's a different way of giving a convenience to the user, that whenever they type in some value or select some value, after clicking on that only the data will be loaded. Here you see only West data. But there's a problem with these kind of input fields normally. These are okay to provide some small inputs from the user side, but not this kind of on demand and all. Why? Because users will not be convenient to type in value again and again. Instead of that, they will be very comfortable with selecting the values out of many options. So what you can do, you can use a drop down, a list box. Specifically a drop down will be best solution, using which like you can easily allow users to load data on demand. So today you are seeing this. In this video you are learning about property controls, you are learning about on demand, and you just saw a small, very, very small example on RN Python scripts, that how that can help us in our reports and dashboards. So you're getting a lot of things from this video in this session. So again, we'll discuss few more things. Now let's say in this particular dashboard, in this data, I have something like to show you here. So now so here if you see, I'll just use this. Now let's say I have another option, let's say slider. I have another property control which allows me to do the sliding. So here you have this slider option. So you have slider, property control, but slider, I'll give you another example. I'm getting a good example so that you can easily understand that. I can show it with the columns and all, but I would say that columns and all will not be looking good. So I'll get you a very good example. Again, if we are going to use something different there, so we are going to use forecasting thing. We are going to use forecasting of sales, which is very, very important, very, very critical in our day-to-day activities. People like to see that what is their sales for the next quarter, for the next year, for next 3 months, 6 months, and so on. So for that, again, we don't have to do anything. Spotify provides you inbuilt function for that. So here we have lines and curves. I'll say forecast hot winters. I'll keep this as it is just to show you an example. Here I'm getting data for next 12 months. So this is time points ahead. It means 12 months. Confidence level, I keep everything as default. I'll say okay. And here you are. So you got this forecasting here. Okay, so you got all your forecasting, everything here. And let me just check it, lines and curves. Yeah, confidence also. So here you have all forecasting for next 12 months. So we have data for 10, 11 and 12 and 13, and you got data trends for 14. So the data what you don't have in your data table, you're getting trends, the forecasting for sales for next 12 months. Now let's say some people want to see for 12 months, some people want to see it for 6 months, some people want to see for let's say 24 months and so on. People like to have their different kind of analysis. So how can you do that, or how users can be able to change this thing? So for that, what do? You have to just again create a property control. Let's say I'll say select period. Okay, so select period, and then I'll use a slider. I'll say period, say string, or I'll say as integer. Okay, value as 0, and the minimum value I'll make it as 6, maximum I'll make it as 60, and I'll say difference of 6. Okay, so min and max labels, if you want to show this, you can use it. So other than this, you don't have to put anything else. Say okay. You can put use this with columns also, so that you can do the column selection, sliders and all that, but that may not be looking good. So here you see you have this option. So here you have minimum as 6 and maximum is 60, so which is nothing but the 5 years. So here if I select this, here you see you can get the slider, you can select the period, but nothing is happening in this chart. So what I'll do, I'll go back to my lines and curves, forecast winter, say add it, and instead of 12, what I'll do, I'll say set from property. I'll select this property which I have created for slider, say okay, and say okay. Now what happens, like say you're getting this trend, the forecasting for next 12 months. Basically right now it's for 6 months. If you see, automatically it got adjusted. I'll say for 12 months, 24 months. Okay, so your users can change as per the requirement. Some user want to see it for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years and so on. This is for 5 years forecasting. So this is how your sales will grow. This is the upper level confidence, this is the lower level confidence, and this is the actual sales trend which you will see for next 5 years. It may not be correct. Remember, this is just a forecasting prediction based on your previous and historical data. Okay, so remember this. So this is just a way of showing the thing. So these are the property controls which will be helpful for you. You can do wonders and you can optimize your reports. Okay, you can give a wonderful appeal rich interface to your reports using these property controls. And as I told you, the styling and all that, this all depends on you, how you can style these dashboards. So you have these dark themes so that you can have any kind of colors or anything. So it's all up to you how you want to use this. And if I go back to text area, and here these are the property controls. So you got labels. Now let's say select period or region. So I will say selected, or let's say I'll say data loaded for which region, we know that. Okay, so I'll say label just to help you understand that what is label. So I'll say new property. Okay, or I can just use the existing one only. So say region, and say for, I'll say for, I'll type in this way. So what will happen, you will see the label also. So here you can just format this. So just say format and say bold. Okay, you can just increase the size. Okay, you can change the color. Okay, just to help you understand easily. Okay, you can easily, so whatever selections or typing what your users are doing. Okay, so that will change accordingly. So I'll say east. Here you see this is also changed. So this is called label. So like this, these are the different property controls, labels, input field multiple lines. As I told you that it's the same thing like input field, but it allows you to write multiple lines. Drop down list, which we saw last time. List box and list box multi select, both are same, except this allows you to select multiple values. And then we saw the slider. So these are very property controls. Okay, very important, which will be useful for your reports, your dashboards and so on. There is another thing which I can show you, and let's say have this data. So this basically this is basically a dashboard here. Now let's say I want to see states. Let's say I have to see the states. So let's say select state. I'm just giving quickly this thing, select state. I'll create a property drop down list, say state, okay, say string, and unique values in a column, okay, unique values in a column, and I'll use a state column, okay, say okay, and save this. Now what happens, like I just want to see the data only for a particular state and all. So this data should be or let's say in this table, just to show you, in this table I'll change this. So that is called limit data using expression. So what you are doing, you can put this in any of the visualizations, any of the charts. So in this case, what will happen, whatever selections you will be making here, only that data will be shown in that particular visualization. So that is just a way of filtering, but with the help of drop down. Sometimes users say that I don't like these normal filters which you have in your filter panel, so you should create me some customs and all that. So that is nothing but a custom filter panel. You can call it as a custom filter panel, and you can put these kind of values. And if it is cascading filters and all that, that looks more good. Okay, but still for now I'm just taking as, so here you have the state, you have state column is equal to, and which is your state column here, just say insert as value. So here you see, that's all, it's done. And which state we have selected, Connecticut, okay, and here you see data only for Connecticut, no other data. It's there in your table but not in this visualization, okay. So that's how it works. Now if I select Delaware here, so you see this is just a filtering, but this thing is on demand. Only that data will be loaded in the table itself, in Spotify itself, in your dashboard itself. So this is on demand, this is just a filtering of the data in the particular visualization, okay. On demand, you can do it from data, your data table properties, and going to the settings, or you can go do the same thing from your data canvas, select the table here, which table, okay, and you have this on demand setting. It's the same thing. The position where you're reaching, it's the same. Otherwise there are two different means, okay. So that's how it looks like in the real time. I hope like you have learned a lot of things in this particular session. We discussed about on demand, we discussed about property controls, we discussed about a small code, 2 lines of code, single line of code on RN Python. We discussed about the forecasting. And if you want to discuss forecasting in detail regarding this method and all that, you can comment it down so that I can take a separate video on forecasting itself. And you discuss about sliders and limit data using expressions. So there are a lot of things which we covered in this session. I hope you might have liked this. If you have liked this, please like and comment. Share it with your peers, your colleagues, so that they can also learn something new. Thank you very much.